You're watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum from Toronto, Ontario. Greetings of peace. I'm Katherine Bullock, your host. Today we're going to have an interview with CEO volunteer of the Muslim Food Bank and Community Services, Azim Dahiya, about their Afghan Refugee Resettlement Program. But first, some news headlines. Jewish judge Dave Spiro banned from presiding over cases involving Muslims. Jewish judge David Spiro, a federally appointed tax judge, is banned by the Tax Court of Canada from presiding over cases involving Muslims. Spiro allegedly used his contacts at the University of Toronto's Faculty of Law to prevent Valentina Azarova from getting hired. Azarova is an international law practitioner whose academic work initially focused on the Israeli occupation of Palestine. The Faculty of Law's hiring committee unanimously agreed to offer her the position of director of their International Human Rights Program. 2 days after Spiro's conversation with the Dean of the Faculty of Law, they decided to no longer proceed with Azarova. Spiro was banned from October 2020 to May 2021. New Bill 105 passes in Quebec to criminalize anti-vaccine protests. It is now a criminal offence in Quebec to hold anti-vaccine protests within 50 metres of schools, daycares, hospitals, and COVID-19 test and vaccine centres. The new bill passed this Thursday states that the offence will cost up to $12,000 in fines. Fines can be doubled for repeat offenders. Bill 105 does not apply to workers who would like to protest against grave issues outside their hospital. Quebec leaders said that the bill is temporary and will only last 30 days. However, the bill can be extended for an additional 30 days. Gas prices may continue to increase until spring. With the soaring prices of gas in North America, Canadians may have to pay higher heating bills this winter. While rates have not reached record prices, the past few years have been comparatively low, which will make prices for the oncoming winter feel higher than before. The price increase is due to the production of fossil fuels, which continues to lag as COVID restrictions ease and economic activity resumes. Rob Roach, chief economist at Alberta Corporation Financial, said that the prices may continue to increase until spring. $1 billion was approved by Congress to fund Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system. This is in addition to the regular US funding to Israel. Progressives in the Congress are calling on Biden to put conditions on US aid to Israel over its human rights record with Palestinians. Supporters claim that this additional funding will help replenish the batteries of the dome after their recent attack in Gaza. Last year, along with regular funding, the US granted almost $7 million for the Iron Dome specifically. That's it for the news. And now our interview with Azim Dahiya, CEO volunteer of Muslim Food Bank and Community Services. We have with us today Azim Dahiya, who is a volunteer CEO of the Muslim Food Bank and Community Services. We're going to talk to him about their Afghan Refugee Resettlement Program. Welcome to the show, Brother Azim.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about the Muslim Food Bank and Community Services.
Our pleasure. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
So people probably here in Ontario, I know you have a branch, but they might not have heard about your organization. So just in a couple of minutes, just tell us the story of the Muslim Food Bank and Community Services.
Alhamdulillah. Muslim Food Bank and Community Services Society is actually a community-based charitable organization that was started in 2010. Actually, we started from a small someone's garage, and then moved to one of the mosques, and then expanded to a small warehouse, and now Alhamdulillah we have a big warehouse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted us in 2019. We bought our own property, and we built up the food bank, the training center, and it's very exciting. So basically, we're a community-based organization that provides food assistance and advocates self-reliance by providing case management, counseling, emotional support, youth development, and capacity building. Through case management counseling, and we recognize the challenges that clients face in supporting themselves and help them overcome those challenges by focusing on 6 core areas: employment, housing, education, skills development, and mental health support. So since 2010, we've actually transformed many lives and empowered people to become self-reliant, and who in turn have joined and help us in the process also. So in a way, we, alhamdulillah, hundreds of people have transformed their lives into, receiving the help, but giving the help now. If they become established, good jobs, businesses, and really progress very well. So our vision is to live in a world where humanity is driven by compassion and love. When people are motivated and encouraged to become volunteers and to help each other and to become self-reliant, so that in turn we can help everyone in their challenges. So in a way, we help each other to help everyone. And our approach to dealing with the needs of people is actually very simple, but it has a massive impact. So we make charitable giving, whether it's time or money or skills, to help those in need, achievable and rewardable. So people who help really do that out of their love and also out of their faith, to be thankful to God, because our organization is based on Surah Al-Insan, ayahs 8 and 9, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَيُطِيمُونَ الْطَعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا, or I'll just translate, verily feed in the name of God the needy, the orphan, and the captive, only for His sake, not expecting any thanks from anyone but only God.
So you're based in Vancouver, and you started out in Vancouver, and now you've moved across into Ontario recently.
That's correct.
Congratulations.
In 2019.
So then let's talk about the Afghan Refugee Resettlement Program that you've got involved in. Why that program, and how?
So alhamdulillah, since 2010, we have been dealing with refugees from Iraq, Somalia, Myanmar, Eritrea, and then the Syrian crisis. So we had a huge influx of Syrian refugees. So alhamdulillah, we expanded our programs to be able to support them. And alhamdulillah, now we are trying to expand to build in capacity to support the Afghan refugees. So we do that in various. So we are one of the first organizations when refugees come, especially to Vancouver. We get notified, and we start with our welcome basket. So already we have had Afghan refugees. We've been notified. We've been delivering welcome hampers, which basically has food items that are catered to their cultural needs, so that they make it easier for them to feel at home. And also we provide hygiene supplies and all that. And then we are now preparing ourselves as they get into more settled into their homes, and they'll become part of our food bank program, where they'll get hampers on a monthly basis. We look after 4,000 to 5,000 people, and we expect the numbers to keep on going on a monthly basis, and expect to go up with Afghan refugees. So we are actually trying to solicit support for that. And then we have our caseworkers and counselors working with them in the areas of employment, education, skills development, so that they can become self-reliant. Because we go by the Chinese proverb, right? Give a fish feed for a day, and give a fishing rod and teach people how to fish, and they'll be fed for a lifetime. So that's the Chinese proverb. That's the philosophy. So our caseworkers, who are also volunteers, and they are supported and trained by social workers and counselors. They provide the casework support, and our mental health therapists provide the counseling support that the refugees require.
So what are they telling you about what things were like in Afghanistan? What are they telling you about what they were facing there?
I mean, they're here because they've had challenges there. Of course, when it comes to education and other areas, that they've seen a lot of challenges, especially in the time when the Taliban were ruling in 2009, 2010. At that time, they had a lot of challenges. So in anticipation of these challenges and also that already Afghan has gone through wars and suicide bombings and all this stuff. So people are living in a lot of anxiety. The people are living in a lot of fear. They don't know how things are going to work out. They're worried about their daughters and their wives and their sisters um, in this challenging times. So yeah, Canada, our government has been very kind to take in 20,000 refugees, and thanks to our government, and our role is to now help them settle down and integrate into the society and become self-reliant.
What would you say then is the, I don't know, top 3 challenges they face when they arrive that your agency is helping them through?
The top 3 challenges would be number one, of course, trying to integrate, because some of them will not have language, right? English is not going to be their first language. They'll have difficulty in communications, difficulty in understanding the culture. So just trying to get the language and the understanding of our culture. That's going to be one of the biggest challenges. And then with that, employment, or those who want to go into business, that's going to be the next challenge. And then of course connecting with their community and their people who have Muslims, basically, to connect with the other Muslims. I think that would be also a challenge for them. And we hope, we're trying to get working with a lot of the organizations to make them welcome, so that it makes the transition easier. And then of course those challenges of shelter in Vancouver and Toronto. Housing is a huge challenge. It's very expensive. So that's a bigger challenge. Again, also academic wise, the kids, if they haven't kept up with education, they will have challenges here in trying to learn English as fast as possible and then integrate into the schooling system. So they're going to have they're going to be dealing with a lot of challenges, and having us around, supporting organization and support all of us supporting them, it will help them to transition to this to live here.
And you mentioned that you were working with the government. So do you get your funding for these supports that you provide, the food bank and the training and the counselling and the caseworkers? Is it government funding or volunteer community donations?
So most of the donations are through volunteers. Actually, alhamdulillah, we ourselves also donate, and we look out for the community. We reach out to the community for donations. That's why we actually have a fundraising dinner on October 16th, that we are hoping to get support for that. So yeah, most of it, and it's proud for me to say that we as Muslims are coming together, to support the people that are seeking help. So that's actually very good. I think it's a good thing for our faith and for our community, that we take responsibility in this area.
Absolutely. Well, we really commend you on your efforts, you and your staff and your volunteers and everyone. We wish you well. May Allah bless and open the gates for you to help these refugees settle in Canada. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for this interview. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank all the volunteers, the staff that have worked through this COVID times. We haven't closed for a day. And in this types of anxiety and challenges, all the staff and volunteers have really worked very hard. So I want to just mention this, and all the frontline staff that have worked hard in these challenging times. So thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk about the Muslim Food Bank.
You're welcome. Azim Dahiya, CEO volunteer of the Muslim Food Bank and Community Services. That's it from us. Stay tuned for the next episode. You've been watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Take care, stay safe.